Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we'll be reviewing a Volkswagen Atlas Peak Edition, aka Volkswagen making a Range Rover. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Volkswagen here in Orem, Utah for giving me some time with this Atlas. I'll include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. If you have any questions, just ask for Corey. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder that goes to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 18 around town and then 24 on the highway, with power outputs being 269 horsepower and then 273 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, this is finished in avocado green, which I think is a really cool color. It's in kind of like a darker tone, and so it's not super in your face with the green, which I don't know, I like that. And then you guys can see here with the headlight design, notice how that connects to the light bar there in the center. You got the Volkswagen logo front and center as well. And I think a better way to frame the colors, it's more of a grayish tint on a green, and that's what makes it so it's not so flashy. But let me know what you think. Now around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 255/60/18 in the front and over in the rear. And you can see with the wheels completely blacked out. And then I love the tire setup with this Peak Edition. Again, more aggressive tires because it's the off-road Atlas. And then you guys can see the chunky fender flares there. And then look at these body lines that swirl across. Peak Edition here on the side. Then you guys can see the mirror caps blacked out as well. And then here is our full side view with this Peak Edition. Now, taking a look at the key fob, we have our lock and unlock function. We've got the opening for the hatch, remote start function, and the Volkswagen logo as well. And popping into the rear of the Atlas, there's a decent amount of space behind the third row. But again, like most SUVs in this segment, if you really want space in the back, you just fold down the third row. Anyways, when you're all done, just press this button and that will lower the hatch right back down. This is cool with the taillight design on the back, and then you can see it's built off of an SE if you're wondering. And then look at the exhaust tip covers. I think that's pretty cool. Oh, actually, those are fake, and also I don't know why that opened. I don't know what I did. Now taking a look at the door panel, you guys can see here with the trim at the top, and then we also have a sunshade for the rear passengers, and then soft touch down below. And I like the stitching that goes across the door handle. It's cool how it kind of goes in the line. And then more nice stitching, and notice the trim on the seats perforated all down the center. The stitching on the side as well. And then legroom in the back solid. We also have a little storage pocket. We've got some vents here, and then you can see for the climate control for the rear, USBs at the bottom. Headroom back here is good. And then just like most SUVs in this segment, you can fit adults in the back. And by the way, look at those seats in the third row. They did a good job if the camera will focus. There we go. They did a good job with the kind of material use. Anyways, you can fit adults back there, but I'd reserve it for kids. Now taking a look at the front door panel, you can see again soft touch here, and then also down below. And again, I like that trim that goes across. Blind spot ring with the mirrors, and then we got all of our window controls right here as well. And look at the stitching there, and then again perforated all down the center, power adjustments on the side. Pretty cool looking pedals. Got our light controls here, and then look at this with the trim, and then more on the dash. Now taking a look at the steering wheel, you guys can see soft touch all around. Got paddle shifters there on the back for the 8-speed. I like how it says Peak Edition there, just like on the side of the car. And then you guys can see here with the controls like the heated steering wheel control, voice command controls, got adaptive cruise control, and then your regular stocks there on the back. Full digital gauge cluster, and again, notice it says Peak Edition. I think that's pretty cool how they have it kind of more, I guess, custom to have that. And then when you change the drive modes here, it doesn't really do anything other than tell you the drive mode change there. In reverse, we do have a backup camera there with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel. Pretty solid resolution. And then as for the rest of the infotainment system, notice we can access our climate controls. We have heated and ventilated seats with this, which will turn on the heated seats. You know, a little bit cold outside. And then I like how easy that is to use, right? It's easy to access as well. And then yeah, you have the slightly controversial controls there for like the volume and the climate at the bottom. But overall, I'd say pretty straightforward. And then you can see all the different drive modes that we can switch between with this Peak Edition. And again, soft touch here on the dash. And then I like that trim there. I think that's pretty cool. And then more soft touch down below. And then here's a quick look at the glove box. And then we got our little shortcut buttons here. And this is pretty cool with the tab. wireless phone charging pad there. Engine stop start, and then we got a little shaver shifter is what I like to call it. Some cup holders there, and then with the center console, good storage, got USB port there. Nice padding on the top, and then we do have a panoramic sunroof as well. So here's our window sticker for this Peak Edition. You can see a lot of stuff is standard, which is super solid. We do have a couple options added to this. Total MSRP $49,473. Let's see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility over the hood, both the mirrors. Do a blind spot monitoring through the rest of the rear. Shaver shifter away. Shaver shifter away. So Peak Edition. You guys probably, if you watch the channel and you're interested in this, you probably saw my video from the auto show with one of these Peak Editions. Oh man, hit right into the traffic right away. But you know, that's obviously not a full review. So came to the Volkswagen dealership here, and now we have a full review on the Peak Edition. I actually think this is really cool. I did not know that this existed prior to doing this, or prior to the auto show. I knew, obviously I knew about the new Atlas, but I didn't know that they were doing an off-road package on the new Atlas. I think that that part of it is really cool. So with that being said, let's get up and move here with this. Good performance, the powertrain. It's interesting with the gauge cluster. It's kind of distracting a little bit because it's showing like the speed, but then it's also showing you the RPMs, and so there's just constant change with the numbers. It's very interesting. It's cool though, the animation, but it's distracting. I like how it doesn't show, it's supposed to show me how far we are above sea level, but it's not showing me. Interesting. Pretty quick though, this powertrain. I mean, for the segment this is in, it's got good power. And it's comfortable too. And I'm not really noticing, I mean, obviously I'm not going super fast, but still I'm not really noticing too much more tire noise compared to stock. Seems like you're not really conceding anything from a noise perspective with the tires, which is good. That's what you want. And I've kind of mentioned this in my other Atlas reviews. Got water drizzling down. I'm so impressed with the new Atlas interior, and just like the looks, you know, the looks didn't change terribly much on the exterior, but yeah, the interior, like this feels like very upscale now. It's again not full-blown luxury car at this point, but I mean, you're getting there. You are definitely getting there here with the new Atlas. And let's get one more acceleration. Yes, quick. So to cap things off here with this Peak Edition, I like it a lot. I'm glad that we're starting to see more off-road packages. Manufacturers are finally realizing that people want, even if they're not going to use it, they just want the looks, right? And so this, you know, is not, let's go this way, actually. Well, I don't know what's happening here. I think we can go that way. I don't know though. Honda Ridgeline, they got to make up their life choices. Anyways, but yeah, I think there's a lot of people that like this, you know, off-road oriented stuff, even, and again, just, you know, for light off-road and going down trails and stuff like that, so they don't feel like they have to, you know, like this. If it's with a lot of camping trails and all that, like you could just get this. You don't have to get this and a Jeep or something like that. So I think it looks cool. You don't really concede anything from a driving perspective, and so good job Volkswagen. They kind of made a more affordable Range Rover in a way, because again, Range Rover, all they do is they just take unibody SUVs and they put, you know, they don't even put aggressive off-road tires on them, which is crazy to me. Range Rover definitely needs, or Land Rover rather, needs to do a much better job with that. But yeah, you basically just have more aggressive tires on a unibody SUV, and so no air suspension though. That's the one thing, no air suspension. Park is right next to engine stop start. Interesting. Let me know what you guys think about the Peak Edition.